There have been questions raised concerning the topic of trauma, pain, and suffering. There's also, as a related issue, for it's actually the same thing. Hello, my dear ones. You have suffered much pain. You have held traumas that you did not even realize were traumas. And you want them to go away. And you want them to heal. And you want to heal other people's traumas. And you want them to go away. That is because, my dear ones, you were not supposed to ever have traumas. You know this. Deep in your souls, you know this. You have come. Okay. Imohe naha te he kai. Imohe te naha malana ke he. Isto mohe naka te na mahine. Isto mohe na alana te na he. Amoha te e ke naha ta amoine he. There is a definite sense of floatiness that is going on. There is a definite floating. Hello, my dearest one. You have experienced. No, you are carrying much trauma. Trauma from this life. Trauma from past lives. Trauma you don't even know you're still carrying. And you want to make it go away. You've always wanted to make it go away. You want to make it heal and not be there anymore. You want the magic bullet. You want and you've been told there is one. Because see, if it is known that if trauma can truly go away and not exist anymore, and if the way to achieve it is quickly done, then the perspective that you're in now, yes, and the perspective that you are in now, there is a training that puts value on everything. And there is a weighing of decisions that is not done in the soul or even with the heart. It is a rationalization of the mind. In this way, it is considered, how will my action affect? What will be the outcome? But it is weighed out. It is not seen as in. And harm and pain are given value. And there are what you consider to be lesser values and major values. This is a slight jabbing comment. It's something, but it's considered to be of lesser value. Murder is considered to be of a highest value. And in between there are all kinds of range. In between, is a range of values placed upon pain. And that is what it is. It is pain. This is why we had said what you are experiencing here is the darkest of the dark. Because you have created, it has been created, no, you have not created. A value system to pain has been created a value system. This value system goes on to two things that affect the value system. One is what you consider to be the degree of the pain, that being that which you believe is quicker to heal. It's more able to be healed. And the second part being how valuable is the person with whom the pain is inflicted upon. Even in your legal systems, it is all about this value system. If someone injures someone else and they have to pay them a fine, think about this a moment. Someone causes harm to someone and they have to pay a fine. And then someone else decides how much that pain is worth. It is an actual value system. And if someone pays the fine, then the one who receives the fine has been compensated or given due payment for what they have suffered. And the matter should be at that point settled and taken care of and done, and move away from it. This is why you were in the darkest of the dark. This is why you were in the darkest of the dark. Oh my goodness, dear ones. Oh my goodness. These concepts, these processes by which you see harming of self and others. Okay. We will now explain. What actually is really occurring to the souls, and it is something you knew. You've always known. But even when someone has brought this to you and said it out loud, the rationalization booby traps come on and quickly try to undo it. Because this is too difficult to accept. This is too difficult to accept, and this is why you're at the darkest of the dark. Pain is an experience that always tells us, stop. Stop. Because love is a tender thing. Safety is a tender thing. We are powerful. We are amazing. But there is a limit. There is a limit to what is. Think of divinity as it is often thought of as light. And imagine that you take a light and you go out into your backyard. Imagine that you take a light, a lantern. Imagine a lantern, yes. You take a lantern and you go outside, deep into nature, deep into, let's say, a field. Let's just say a very large field, and you take this lantern and you walk into the middle of the field with this lantern. And it is deep in night, and at this particular time, the moon is not out. So it feels very, very dark. But you have your lantern. Imagine that this lantern is your divinity. When you hold the lantern, you can see around you because the lantern is shining the light. This is like your own divinity. As your own divinity is light and able to shine freely, you can see around you and move around you. Pain covers a sliver of your divinity. It interferes with your divinity. It blocks part of the light. When your light is blocked, you feel the pain. And that pain is telling you, stop. Whatever you're doing is affecting your ability to be connected to your divinity. That is what the pain is. The pain is actually your divinity being blocked, impinged upon. And the pain is telling you, quick, whatever's blocking this, remove it. This is what it's supposed to happen. It's supposed to be a quick process to a safeguard, a natural safeguard that exists in all that is divine. So what has occurred is that something came in and blocked your divinity a little bit, and you felt the pain. But you couldn't remove the thing that was causing it. So you got used to that block being there. You got used to that pain. It started to, because it lasted and continued to last, it remained there. And you got used to it. And you could still see out of the rest of with your lantern, that little part would be okay. You were a little bit dimmer, but it was still okay. You could still see pretty good. And then something else came and blocked a little bit of your divinity. Now you're saying, what could block the divinity? It is many and varied, but it's also few. It's a very lies. Lies block divinity. When you tell a lie, when you hear a lie, it blocks divinity. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. But every lie blocks divinity. I want to say the opposite of love, which people would think is hate. And that is true. But that is not true because it's very distorted there. So that I'm not going to use those exact terms. But I want you to know the direction in which I'm trying to go. We will call it lack of love. When you pull away from, disassociate from another, and experience a lack in connection and love for another or even for yourself. That one took a while to accomplish, but even for yourself, there is a twinge of pain. But as you get more and more used to it, you stop noticing that twinge of pain is blocking your divinity. When another causes harm of any kind to us, that causes pain, which means our divinity is having a block. These are the things that are blocking your divinity. Lies are the biggest one. You would think other things are, but lies are the biggest one. Because lies, as exist there, are everywhere, in everything. From who you are, what you are, how your worth, your everything. It is built on lies, and the lies they're so deep and there's so many levels. And then you're blocking your divinity to the point that for many of you, there is so much untruth. I will use the words also untruth. I'm choosing to move from lies to untruth because lies have a connotation on purpose. And it does not always have to be on purpose. It could be just an untruth that has been given to you and passed down, and you've accepted, and you didn't even know it was a lie. And there's pain, and you're so used to the pain you didn't even realize it. So what has happened, my dear ones, is all these traumas. Every lie believed, every lie brought into your being is a trauma. So these traumas have accrued. Now you're thinking, oh, when I'm thinking of trauma, I'm thinking of deep physical suffering and pain or loss. And those are very big traumas. They're very deep. And those are those loud ones. They're so loud that even in your acclimated position, you realize they're traumas. But they can only exist because so much of your life had already been cut off through the lies and the untruths. And for many of you, without even knowing it, you have made imagine again, you're in the field. There is no moon. It's deep in the night. There are no, but say that far in the distance, miles away, there's a street light. And then over there you see another street light. And so you find something to focus on. These are what I'm going to call false light. From where your perspective is, this seems like light. This seems like something is bright there. These are false ideas that you have accepted as light because you have no light. Your own light has become completely blocked. So you immediately start to search for other light. And you see something in the distance, and it shines. And say, oh my goodness, there's something shining. There's light. Now, I will use that light to help me to move around. But the light is miles away. That speck of light, that speck of something you see shining, does not help you where you are standing. It does not help you to see where your feet are. It does not help you to direct and move through this field. But it's the only light you can see. It's the only light you can see. And so instead of working on, okay, let's remove all the things that are blocking my own light so I can see clearly around me, you have been induced to take these false and distant lights that are so far away and try to use those to help you move. And you're always moving towards these lights because that is like a moth to the flame. But the thing is, these are funny lights because they're not your own true divinity. It could be, what is that thing you expressed? Carrot on a stick. It is the carrot on the stick. As you move towards it, is always moving away because it is not your divinity, it is not your light. It's a false light. It is taking you down paths that bring you farther into darkness. But you do not even know it because you're so desperate and and this is light and you have no light.